Next, on Images Imágenes, Latino Political Empowerment in New Jersey. Saludos. Welcome to Images Imágenes. I'm Miguel Perez. In this state, where Latinos represent close to 10% of the population, we are grossly underrepresented in the number of Latino elected officials. Why? What are the reasons why Latinos have only 2 state assemblymen and no state senator? Why do we have so few elected officials in cities and counties where our population is even much higher than that 10%? Are we crashing into an invisible wall built by the political establishment? Are we being taken for granted by the political parties? Or are Latino politicians practicing political cannibalism by running against each other, splitting the Hispanic vote, and thus helping to elect non-Latinos? Those are just some of the questions we'll be asking a panel of Latinos who tried and failed to win elected office in New Jersey. Mary Vega Perry, who ran for mayor in Passaic. Pedro Medina, who ran for mayor in Trenton. Carlos Alma, who ran for the Board of Education in the city of Elizabeth, and Luis Quintana, who ran for councilman at large in the city of Newark. And here is his story, which is an example of the political struggle of Latinos in politics.
Ahora. ¿Quién queremos? Luis Quintana. ¿Quién queremos? Luis Quintana. ¿Cuándo lo queremos? Ahora. ¿Cuándo lo queremos? Ahora. No hay justicia, no hay paz. No hay justicia, no hay paz.
Once again, the battle lines have been drawn in New Jersey, this time in the city of Newark. It all began when Councilwoman Marie Villani announced in August that due to health reasons, she was considering leaving the city council within 30 to 90 days. Councilwoman Marie Villani's declaration ignited a tug of war that rocked the state's largest city.
What has happened here in the city of Newark over the past few weeks, since Marie Villani decided to say that she may resign within the next 30 to 90 days, is that there has been racial division in the city of Newark. And if you say it's not happening, you're a fool.
You are sitting where you sit. Because Rosa Parks stood up and said, I'm not going to sit in the back of the bus. That's why you sit where you sit. There should be no confusion in your mind about where you get your support from.
On one side is Deputy Mayor Luis Quintana, who is heavily supported by the Hispanic community. On the other side is community activist Mildred Crump, whose prime support comes from the African American community. Caught in the middle is the Newark City Council. A veteran campaigner told us the solution is very simple.
I feel as a citizen and with all good conscience that the next in line should take that seat.
In 1990, Deputy Mayor Luis Quintana won the machine vote against Councilwoman Marie Villani, but lost the race when the absentee votes were counted. Thus, Luis Quintana became the runner-up for the city council seat.
That precedent is well established and should be honored, that Luis Quintana, because of his record in the last election, be seated.
If Marie Villani does resign, he deserves to be appointed councilman. He came in 5th, and I think for the Hispanic community, it would be very good for the city of Newark.
Where no Puerto Rican has ever won the position. This is the first time an opportunity of fairness exists.
I think when we look at the history of Newark and of all cities, all people have always aspired to political representation. The fact that Newark is the largest city with the largest Hispanic population, over 80,000, that has never had a councilman, these people are basically disenfranchised. That's not to say that the existing council people don't represent them, but as an example, the Afro-American community in this city, for many years, demanded political representation, and they have it. Now the Hispanics need it.
If the city council follows tradition, Quintana would be next in line. But the Mildred Crump supporters say no to tradition.
I just think it's time for there to be more women on city council. It's time women take a stand and say, we won't be neglected, we won't be ignored. It's time for Mildred Crump on the city council.
I personally think that Mildred's done a lot for the community, and it's about time that we pay our respect to her. She deserves a chance for that.
Since women comprise 56% of the voting population, double that of the Hispanic voting population, And using the same logic, a qualified woman should have that seat.
A lot of those women are Puerto Rican, Dominican, Colombian, Cuban.
Meanwhile, the candidates were emotionally overtaken by the support of their constituents. Outside City Hall, Quintana supporters marched, chanted, lit candles, and prayed.
It's a very emotional day, but it means the people together. You know, I'm speechless, but the words that I may say is that we are one fairness. We have worked for fairness. 30-some years in the city, Black and Puerto Rican Convention, 1970. Time has come. We must work together.
Meanwhile, inside City Hall, Mildred Crumb's followers sat in full attention, proudly displaying their T-shirts and buttons.
We will be victorious, and I have no problem, and I've said this to Mr. Quintana, that yes, it's time for an Hispanic, but it's way past time for an African-American female, and it's just our turn.
At this current time, the Newark City Council is complete with 9 members who were elected by the public. Until there is a vacancy officially, there's really nothing to discuss. I mean, we're treating Marie Villani like she doesn't exist. To this day, Marie Villani is still a member of the Newark City Council.
The question is, will Councilwoman Marie Villani sacrifice her health and remain on the City Council in order to stop the turmoil, or will she resign and force the City Council to make a decision? The public waits.
First of all, let me welcome you all to the program. I'm very happy to have you here. Mr. Quintana, let's start with you since we just saw your story. And that is, we want to know, and we want all of you to participate in this discussion, of course. We want to know what you think will happen if Councilwoman Villani decides to resign. Do you think the City Councilman will take decision in your favor?
Right now, if tomorrow morning, let's say Mrs. Marie Villani resigned, there's 2 councilmen who have indicated to me they would be very supportive. Other councilmen have said that they would not vote. They would leave the seat open until 1994. But I've sent a message clear to the members of the Newark Municipal Council. A message that's very clear from the Hispanic community. In 1994, May 1994, if it's not given to us now, we will take it in 1994. And what we have said to them very clear, to the City Council, is we want an opportunity. We don't want it in 94, we want it now. If in 94 is not given to us now, if it's not given to us now, in 94 we will demonstrate it in the polls. What better demonstrating the numbers in the poll? But again, there may be some people who may want to come for the Hispanic support and might not have the Hispanic support because of not supporting our community. So they have to understand that too.
We have a situation here where we minorities, blacks and Hispanics, always have to fight over a very small share of the pie. And is that right? Is that fair that this is happening now where the 2 main minority groups are competing for 1 council seat? Well, Mr. Medina?
Yeah, this is a prime example of the injustices that are being committed against the Hispanic community. I definitely have to praise the African-American community for coming together and getting representation in government, local government, state government, national government. They have it, okay? I also understand that there were injustices committed against the African-American community. But this is a major injustice being committed against a community, not only just Newark. This is happening throughout the state of New Jersey. And I think that the African-American community here have a good opportunity to show that they also understand the problems, or they sympathize with the Hispanic community, and they should say, well, this seat should go to Luis Quintana.
We've been through that struggle. Let's sympathize with other people who are going through it.
You know, again, this has happened in the past in different scenarios. And I have to say that Africans, and not to create more division, but I think that we Hispanics, we're going to have to start opening our mouth. We're going to have to start telling it like it is. And we have supported African American in getting their people elected. Because we understand their problem, but they do not understand ours. And I think it's time that they be fair to our community.
This also happens not just with competition with the black community, but competition with other Latinos. And the prime example we have here today is Maria Vega Perry, who could be the mayor of the city of Passaic right now, had it not been for another Latino who ran against you, split the vote. We could have many more Latino city councilmen in the city of Passaic had not 7 Latinos ran, split the vote, and nobody got elected. Tell us about what happened in Passaic.
In the city of Passaic, precisely, Miguel, what happened is that we tried to accomplish so much that at the end we came out empty-handed. And I'm saying this as a community as a whole. We knew that we had the best opportunity to conquer the city hall at the time that the election was to come about in May. We had a candidate who we tried to explain in many ways the opportunity that the community as a whole had by only selecting one candidate for mayor. And going behind that, I also believe that there are other interests, perhaps outside of the reach of Mr. Perez, that perhaps play a big role in his decision not to step aside as a candidate and instead to come and support our agenda. My agenda was not for Hispanics only, because although we are the majority in the city of Passaic, as a mayoral candidate, my intention was to serve all the people of Passaic, of course. And in the city of Passaic, we have had a long history of people coming together, but basically has been when there is a disaster going on. Not knowing that the political disaster in the city of Passaic is far greater, because a lot of things in the lives of many young people depend on the unity that we should demonstrate precisely when we know what the struggle for Hispanics has been all along, and also understanding what black history it's all about. And I have to say this, perhaps we need to become more responsible for our own, and we need to be able to deter the political sanctions that step on our way in many occasions. And I have to say this, both political parties
Okay, we've talked about political competition with the black community. We've talked about political cannibalism among Latino politicians. Let's talk to Mr. Alma about what happened to him in Elizabeth, where, from what I understand, it was a situation where you were fighting against a political machine.
Well, in reality, it's in Elizabeth, I think what's happening now that the Hispanics are getting conscious. They are now struggling to get access and participate in the elections, not only in the Board of Education, but also in the partisan elections that happen in the city of Elizabeth. Currently, there is a potential of changing the type of elections from a partisan to a nonpartisan election. That's also a power struggle.
There's a referendum coming up.
There's a referendum that's going to be held in November 2nd to change the election from a partisan election to a nonpartisan election. This is something, again, this is a way of empowerment. Now, does that mean it's for the Hispanic empowerment? This type of referendum came from all sides, from the old machinery, which was been in the city for over 28 years. The Republicans, because the city of Elizabeth is the majority are Democrats, and from other groups in the city, including Latino potential who would like to be elected. The Board of Education election that I ran was a group that was formed to address the Hispanic issue, which a group called HAPA. And what we wanted to do is to have access to the Hispanic community so they get political awareness, because that's part of the whole name of HAPA, which is a Hispanic American Association for Political Awareness, to give them the issues, present the issues not only to the community, but also to the politicians. As everyone mentioned here, is also a problem with the parties that run the elections, both the Republicans and the Democrats. It's very difficult to get a Hispanic on a political line, and if it is in the case of a freeholder, we probably get the last seat or the last name on the line, which the potential of losing is very great. Instead of the first one, which would be the possibility of winning the election, is again greater. So we have a problem here.
Yeah, you know, I know it's easy to criticize and blame others for our own problems. So I have to agree with you. We have to look at ourselves. We have to look at our community. And we need to do some soul searching and say that we are also the problem, okay? You're a prime example, Maria. All the Hispanics should have came together, and I do not know Mr. Perez, but he should have said, well, we have a Hispanic female running for mayor. Let's support her. See, what's going to happen here, what will happen, then the door is open. And it's true, I ran for mayor of the city of Trenton.
That was my question. What happened to you there?
Well, and it was a good experience, okay? Because it gave me an opportunity, and Maria, I agree with you, to go and meet others, going to the Irish community, going to the Italian community, Polish community, to all different ethnic groups. And it gave me an opportunity for them to know me, to know my community, and for me to know them. Because we cannot, if we want to gain political power, we cannot just stay in our own little circle and expect that that political power is just going to come from our people. We have to go out there and reach out and say, if Hispanics gain political power, we are all going to benefit because we all live in the same community.
But it's not only reaching out to other communities, it's also reaching out to the other party. I understand that you were a Democrat and now you're a Republican.
And
why?
I'm answer that question real quick because I want to make one thing clear. When I mention about the African American community, I want no one to misconstrue that I have a problem with African Americans. I have to say I have a problem with some of the African American leaders because they're not leading their people in the right direction. The people are great people, have great friends in the African American community, but the leaders are misleading them. After 16 years of being a loyal Democrat, and not only I as an individual, but Hispanics, Puerto Ricans, we have been loyal to the Democrat Party for many, many, many years. The facts are there. Do we have Hispanic elected officials throughout this state, at local level, county level, state level, supported by the Democrat Party? No. They ask us to support them. See, they know that we are good people, hardworking people, humble people. They know how to hit the right button to get us emotionally involved in what they're telling us to do. But when it comes to the reality, when it comes for them to support our candidates, they're not doing it. So we need to wake up. So after 16 years, I said, I'm going to make this move, not for Pedro Medina, but for my community. Either the Democrat Party is going to wake up, or they're going to be in big trouble, and they're in big trouble now. It's happened throughout this whole nation. More people are going Republican. Right now in the state of New Jersey, there's 6 Latino running for the legislature. And there happen to be Hispanics, Republican. We need to wake up and look at the reality and stop going by tradition. Hispanics traditionally they're Democrat. So the Democrat Party, they know that. So they say, well, your grandmother and your father, they were Democrat, you have to vote Democrat. No, we don't have to do anything. We deserve, Luis, not that they should give you that seat. You deserve the seat. Our people deserve the seat. They're not giving us anything. We need what we deserve. And like you said, if not, we're gonna have to take it.
Well, sometimes our people don't go out and take it by not going out to vote. And that's the question I have for Mr. Quintana. 76,000 Hispanics in the city of Newark. About 11,000 went out to vote. There's a problem there. Do you think this controversy right now will motivate even more people to go out and vote in '94 if they have to?
Let me give you, for example, what this did for us. This opened the eyes of the Democratic Party. The party has just named a person who will become victorious come November the 2nd, Maria Vizcarrondo, who was running for surrogate. By creating this awareness, it's created a momentum out in the street the many people who have sent letters. Not the point that we were talking before about going to other communities outside of our community. It's been so interesting. I got letters from Italian community, from the Irish community, African Americans who have said to me that they would support me, that whatever it may be. And it's creating a momentum because people know that we won an election in 1990. It was taken away. But as good Hispanics, we went and fought challenging the absentee ballots in the process. Spent about $40,000 in a courtroom trying to prove the point that we're not going to just allow people just to step on us and keep giving us the political gain. But in Essex County, the Democratic Party has opened its ears. It's opened up to our community, giving us the first Hispanic female for county surrogate. And we believe in Essex County, like other Hispanics have said, that they wanted to leave in Essex County. They want to leave the Democratic Party. Here is the opportunity that the party has given, because the other party never gave us the opportunity. So now we have an opportunity. And parties must understand the numbers that we carry that can swing the elections.
Well, there's a situation where what happens is they take the vote for granted. They assume that all Latinos are Democrats. They're all going to vote for us anyway, so we don't have to go out and campaign in their community. We don't have to promise them anything.
Miguel, you know, let me say this. You said the Democratic Party. I don't think there's nothing democratic about the Democrat Party. They're the Democrat Party. You said that and I'll say it in a constructive way, they have opened their eyes. Now they're going to do something about the lack of Hispanic representation. The eyes should have been opened a long time ago. Okay, see, I know that they know and they feel that they're in trouble. At least in Mercer County, I know that. Because when I switched party affiliation, I took hundreds of people with me, and there are more that are coming, okay? Now, I hope, as a Hispanic, that will open the eyes of the Democrat Party. But as long as we continue to say, like some Hispanics said, don't worry, Hispanics will vote Democrat anyway. That's the wrong message to send, even if you're a Democrat, to the party. Because then they'll sit back and they'll say, all right, that's true. No, it's not true.
We have to play hard to get.
We have to play hardball and hard to get and show them that our vote is not a little game. It's not going to be taken for granted anymore, and I agree with you with that.
It cannot continue to be taken for granted, Manuel. And one of the things is that we all agree with one thing. And what we have to do is to continue to do what we can do best and bring that awareness in whatever possibility is so fit. I will not change party affiliations because I want the Democratic Party to be responsible, to be accountable, and to exercise that inclusion process. And I'm going to do it from my point of view as a Democrat, staying with it, and asking questions and expecting answers. Now, I was approached by the party to run for the assembly. However, that was 6 months into my campaign for mayor. Way too late. I had made a commitment to the people of Passaic, to the people that had worked so hard. We registered 3,000 people in 6 months to vote in the May election. My commitment was to work for the people of the city of Passaic, to be a good representative as a Hispanic and as a human being to the rest of the state of New Jersey. And we would have accomplished that. However, being the powers as they are, it didn't happen. And we know for a fact that if we had continued in the goal that we had set, which was to see that Mr. Perez was part of our team, was part of our beliefs, that wouldn't happen. There's many opinions today. And Mr. Perez and I, we have not sat down to really talk about this issue. But I think that in the future, we will be doing that because no matter what happens, we will continue to be Hispanics no matter what happens in the political arena. And I want the party to be accountable if there is a process of inclusion.
We're running out of time, but I have very little time.
Yes, is absolutely right. In an attempt about talking to the other Hispanics to give an opportunity to the one who has the potential of winning that election the opportunity to run without splitting the vote. That is what happened to me. I lost the election by 72 votes. And what happens? The two Hispanics split the Hispanic vote, and the other candidate won the seat. Now, what we have to do is we try
call that
reasoning.
Quítate tú para ponerme yo.
Quítate tú para ponerme yo.
You step aside so I can take over.
And the other person wins. And the other person wins. Neither one, we both lose.
It's a shame when that happens, you know. And Maria, you know, when I left the Democrat Party, I didn't leave the Democrat Party. They left our people, okay? And I hope that what I'm doing will make them more responsible. I doubt it. Okay, I'm with the party of inclusion, I believe, strongly believe, and I will continue to fight for our people. We have to come together, no matter what party label, but let's be realistic about what has been going on.
We have to close with that optimistic note. Today we've learned a lot about the obstacles, those hurdles that we have to clear in order to empower our Latino community. We've heard some of our guests describe just how high we have to fly to obtain adequate political representation. But maybe you have some ideas, and we'd like to know about what you're thinking about this subject. Please write us at New Jersey Network, Images Imágenes, New Jersey Network, 50 Park Place, Newark, New Jersey, 07102. I'm Miguel Perez, and I hope to see you soon on another edition of Images Imágenes. Hasta pronto.